spoiler-free God of War Ragnarok review rundown. We're going to look at a handful of reviews, the scores, what everybody's saying. Again, this is spoiler-free. We used spoiler-free reviews. So, God of War Ragnarok review embargo dropped today. We took the time in the member stream to look at a handful of reviews, and I'm going to give you a rundown right now. Make sure and hit subscribe and the bell button. I'm going to put it right here at the beginning of the stream. Be sure to check out the reviews that we used, especially Skill Ups. I thought his was excellent and put together very, very well. I'm going to bring people over from the members-only stream now with a redirect. I put all of the good information and everything that you need at the beginning of these streams so you don't have to go looking for them, and that way you can enjoy the content and not go searching through like a really long past broadcast. We do it in the form of an update, and this is actually footage from Skill Up's review, so again, give him support. We appreciate the work he puts into his reviews. This is a Reforge update. The God of War Ragnarok reviews are coming in, and I'm going to give you a rundown with no spoilers. If you were interested in this game, look no further. The game is absolutely incredible according to review outlets. As always, hit subscribe and that bell button so that way you don't miss out on the content. Now, the reason you're seeing some footage that's not Ragnarok is because this is from Skill Up's review. Be sure to check his out. His is one of the ones we used in this rundown. So I'm just going to list the scores that were tweeted out. IGN, Gaming Bolt, Gaming Nexus, Next Gen Base, Push Square, Press Start all gave it a 10 out of 10. VGC, Twinfinite, and EGM gave it a 5 out of 5. Game Informer gave it a 9.5, and GameSpot and Easy Allies each gave it a 9. It currently is sitting at a Metacritic score of 94, with, I believe, over 100 reviews. The review scores keep pouring in on Metacritic, and it's holding strong at a 94. Let me give you a summary of Skill Up, as well as Games Radar, and lastly, Eurogamer. Not everybody said nothing but positive things. There were some criticisms. Skill Up said that it is so masterfully put together in its ending and how it ends the saga that you will want to play it again. He actually said that the technical improvements are amazing, but that's not really the reason for high praise. It does look better, it does run better, and it's improved on things, but he thinks the way that they so masterfully ended the saga that you will want to play it again, and that's his main reason for giving it a strong recommendation. He said in 37 hours he had one instance of frame drop that he noticed, so performance seems very, very rock solid. He said in the 37 hours that he played, he had two very minor glitches where once Kratos glitched into a wall, and another time Kratos kind of got stuck on something. He said that the one thing that did get a little annoying was the climb-throughs and the edging along ledges. He said it happens quite a bit, and he did make sure to reference people in the industry saying they don't use those to hide loading screens. It's a way to contain the player into a particular area. So he did say, though, even though it's not necessarily hiding loading screens, he wasn't a huge fan of the abundance of them. He said that the plot is like a murder mystery where you think you know what's going on and you really don't. So no spoilers, but apparently we're not really going to understand what's going on until the culmination. He said that the story is more subtle and intricate and that it demands multiple playthroughs. He did say one of the reasons he found it hard to play 2018 over and over again because it wasn't going to hit you with the same punch and the same surprises, and that this is a more replayable game because of the way the story is laid out in more subtle and intricate ways. He said that level design and quest design is the most noticeable improvement. You will notice it flowing quite a bit better. He says the realms themselves open up into semi-open world spaces. They're not fully open world, but he did say it led to a lot of side content that he felt was well worth doing. It sort of calls you to do it. And he says there were some nuggets in there. There was little things and stuff that you would get to experience that you'll only really do if you do the side content. He did say that the resource chase and the number of chests that you open, he says it feels a little played out and overdone, like there was an overabundance of it, and he wasn't the biggest fan of that aspect. He says that combat looks and feels awesome, and it's the pinnacle of approachability while also giving you lots of different things to do, but that the combat and the perk system felt more iterative. I do think people are going to largely focus on what many people are saying, that the combat is very similar and familiar to what you did in the last game, but there are comments from Eurogamer, I believe it's Eurogamer, that I think are very important with respect to what you need to do with enemy variety. I'll get to that in a moment. He said that enemy diversity is better and that boss diversity is more broad, even though there are a few repeated bosses. Everybody is seemingly saying that enemy and boss variety is a huge uptick from the previous game. SkillUp believes that the debate about improvements, graphics, and is it a sequel or DLC will fade away when people get their hands on it and experience the story's conclusion. So he's putting a lot of faith in just how good the storytelling is, which was kind of funny when you read Eurogamer's review, which I'll get to in a moment. Games Radar's video said that the story takes a while to get going, but that the end is worth it. They said the second half of the game really picks up and has better momentum. He felt like he was doing a lot of missions and quests in the beginning and then just kind of ending up back at base, and so the progression wasn't quite as fast as he wanted to see it. He said it felt like 15 hours of story stretched to 30, and then Eurogamer saying the exact opposite. They're saying there's so much story and so many characters, it's almost too bloated. So both Games Radar and Eurogamer are zeroing in on the story and saying completely opposite things. My pushback on what I heard from Games Radar was, you're just describing good storytelling. If you want really good momentum and climax in a story, the first half is usually slower. This is true in really good seasons of television shows like Season 1 of The Punisher or novels like The Fellowship of the Ring. You have to have that slow build-up in the beginning. That's why the momentum and climax feels more potent when you get to it. So I didn't find their criticism of the story pacing to be very good in light of that's just typically how you write a good story. They did say that the armor is very focused on builds. They liked that. They said the systems are better and more manageable when you're going through them. They said combat is good and layering on abilities and switching in the fights feels good. They said that 35 hours is how much time they put in. SkillUp put in 37, but the person talking said they had now put in 45 to 50 hours. They were still finding things. There were monsters that you don't find until you sort of get to the end game. So while they felt like it started a little bit slow, it felt like it was well worth their time, and they continued to play even after completion. When asked if it's game of the year, he said it's close. The first game was almost perfect, and this game is maybe game of the year. It's very close, and he gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Eurogamer is where it gets a little confusing because we have Games Radar saying it feels like a 15-hour story stretched too long, and then Eurogamer said a completionist will feel that the game is a bit bloated. There's lots of characters and lore, and they said that the bloat is, quote, the biggest problem for Ragnarok, and that the story could have been told in half the time. So they're saying something similar, but they're saying it differently. They're saying there's too much. They went into too much detail, too many characters, too much lore. It's bloated. You could have trimmed this way down. While Games Radar is saying it feels like a 15-hour story that's stretched for 30 hours, almost like there's not enough. So they're saying very different things. The way I kind of gathered this and looked at this, it seems like it's a very story-heavy game with lots of cutscenes, and it's a cinematic experience. And if you go in not expecting that, you might feel like it's taking too long to get to the action or get to the next thing. They said that lots of dialogue feels drawn out in longer play sessions, and one of the reasons they said that was it reestablishes certain themes and certain story elements, so that if you play for like an hour or two and come back to the game later, it's sort of like re-emphasizing and reestablishing certain themes. But when you play for really long periods of time, they said that some of that feels drawn out and repetitive. They did say that the puzzles are enjoyable, but they criticized and said that the game can be a little too hint-droppy. It just drops hints almost immediately, like as they're going to solve it, Mimir says, oh, maybe you should pull that lever. And I actually think that's a totally valid criticism. I have played games like this before where I'm literally trying to solve the puzzle, and as I'm having my aha moment, some dumb NPC tells me how to solve it and kind of takes away the punch of the solution, like somebody spoiling it in the chat of a live stream. The long story aside, being sort of bloated, they said that the game is fun and that replay value is high, which is interesting. Both Games Radar and Eurogamer seemingly taking issue with the story, and yet they played a bunch and are saying they'll continue to play a bunch. I think that's high praise, that even in the midst of their criticisms, they're still continuing to play. None of this was driving them to play less or to stop playing. Eurogamer says that the combat is still rigid, but it is good. Combat flow is stunning work. They said as you flow from one thing to the next and chain things together, it's just absolutely stunning. The level of detail in combat is, quote, unparalleled. Enemy variety is a plus, and they said that it leads to needing more combat depth and changes while you play. So you're actually going to be making changes to your loadout or what you're doing or how you're fighting dependent upon the enemy variety. I think that's going to get lost in the sort of easy clickism criticism of people saying, oh, the combat hasn't changed enough. If the combat has changed with respect to depth, variety, and customization in relation to enemy variety, you have to see the combat in conjunction with all of the praise for enemy variety. That's where the combat has changed and deepened. So you're going to see the easy clickism hate from people that are like, oh, the combat hasn't changed enough. But even Eurogamer is saying you have to make a lot of changes and really harness the depth because there is so much enemy variety, and there was a lack of that in the previous game. They said that enemy and boss variety is a vast improvement over 2018. You have to couple that vast improvement with the combat, because the two come together. They said that overall it was an improvement in a solid game. They gave it pretty high praise. So that is a very quick and I think very different and measured. I tried to give you a good sample of what everybody's saying. In the midst of all of the high praise, there is some criticism in there, while I think some of it isn't quite as legitimate as others, given that some of it's just about the fact that there's a lot of story in your story game. Overall, I'm excited to jump into God of War Ragnarok gameplay when it releases. Be sure you're subscribed to Reforge Gaming so you can watch me play there. As always, hit subscribe and the bell button, and I'll see you in the next one. And I'll see the rest of you right now. It's here. It's here. The God of War Ragnarok review embargo. It's dropped. And we are able to talk. We're able to discuss. We're able to debate and think through. And I think my primary concern is that people are going to latch on to a handful of statements. They're going to, latch on to the fact that it's just a PS4 game and that the combat is too similar. 120 FPS mode is hitting around 75 to 80. It's kind of disappointing that they would even bother doing that if that's what it's averaging. I was a little concerned when I about the 120 mode. I thought, why bother? And if you can't hit it, why bother? So, hey guys, there's over 300 of you here. Do me a favor, and click that like button. I need your likes. I am going to let this one play for a little bit because I feel like one of the things that SkillUp's review showcases is just how smooth the performance of the game is. I was just struck by how beautiful and smooth it worked. There's no spoilers in this gameplay, by the way. Most of this you've either already seen or it's very, very basic. He's just in areas moving around. IGN performance review shows it average 80 to 90 in the 120 hertz mode. Yeah, see, that to me makes it feel like, why did you even bother doing that? Why wouldn't you just do... And look, if you look at this footage right here of 2018, I don't know how you look at 2018 footage and not see just how much better it looks compared to the footage that we're seeing now. Like, just look at the detail on his face and the skins and everything else. Like, it's a beautiful game. Even their eyes, I think, look better in the newest footage. I think they look more alive and they look more modernized with respect to character design. Regarding your hints, criticism, SkillUp showed an option in the accessibility features where you can turn down the hints. I forgot to mention that. SkillUp did recommend turning that down because he did say that, like, you're going to want to turn this down. So that's a good word. If you don't want them to basically be like, pull the lever, do the thing, like, they won't do that if you turn that down. Most games in the 120 hertz modes average 80 to 90 anyway. It's still a 45% increase in performance. I mean, I suppose, Cliffo, that's a good point. I suppose the people that want it, or the people that typically turn that on, maybe they're accustomed to that. I just figure if you're going to do 120, then give me 120 or don't do it. You know what I mean? PS4 version is good. Good locked 30. Yeah, the PS4 Pro, I heard, was averaging like 40 to 50 frames, and then PS4 is locked at 30, understandably. On the higher difficulty stuff, they should just default to less hints or no hints. Most gamers on console don't even have a TV or monitor that can run 120. I'm worried about that. I don't see how the base PS4 can handle this game smoothly. Paul is saying in the chat, in the Discord, that the PS4 version is running at 30. And you can also lock the PS4 Pro at 30, which is what the 2018 version of the game did. So, you think the fight for Game of the Year is between Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok only, or is there any other game? Which of the two games will win? Based on the review scores that are coming out about this game and what people are saying, I actually think Ragnarok will win. I don't think it's in doubt at this point in time. The consistent 9s and 10s. So it's basically right now getting a pound for pound review score that Elden Ring got. Okay, so that you got to remember that. Remember that first. And then remember second that it's more narratively driven. It's more easily completed by the press. It's got recency bias. It's actually looking way more next gen than Elden Ring. It has a lot of things in its corner. So it's pound for pound getting the same sort of review scores that Elden Ring was receiving. It's getting that media darling treatment, but it's here. It's right now, like literally a week before, a week and a half before the door closes for Game of the Year. This thing's on the dadgum doorstep. I don't know. And the people that are like, it's a PS4 game, it's a PS4 game, I think this is a great time to showcase. Look at the detail, the lighting, and the intricacies of the armor and the characters, and then watch what happens as soon as you're in 2018. It's not nearly as detailed. It's not nearly as lit like next-gen lighting. It doesn't have that same feel of what we were just looking at. So the people that continue to be like, it's a PS4 game, it's a PS4 game, I think you're going to have a hard time finding a game that looks as good as Ragnarok and runs as well as it does. And when you do find games that look that good, guess what? They're next-gen games. Look at the difference. Do you see him standing up and throwing the axe? And now look at the difference. Look at the lights, look at the shadows, look at the details, look at the performance. Anybody's like, this is a PS4 game. What games are you playing? Because this looks like one of the best next-gen titles I could play right now. Look at his face in comparison to what we've seen in the footage that they've been kind of going back and repeating. As far as movement, as far as emotion, as far as details and lighting, I don't get it. I don't get it. You cannot look at the PS4 2018 version of God of War and then look at this and be like, yeah, it's a PS4 game. It does look next-gen, but isn't a next-gen title. It is a next-gen title because engines have agility and versatility. If a game launches on PC and has next-gen features, but can be optimized to run on a weak PC, that doesn't suddenly make it not next-gen. The way that people think about games and everything, I don't know. IGN Korea gave it a 6 and used the DLC excuse. Well, they look like fools because nobody else is doing that or saying that. So, I mean, why not just admit to everybody that you're a hater that lacks integrity and honesty? A 6, sure. Yeah, it scored 1 point above Gotham Knights. Sure, IGN Korea, I trust your completely valid and honest opinion. Sure. Like I said, the only other games you're going to see that are better looking than are other PlayStation games. I think the Game of the Year race will be very close. But I think next gen, I think PS5 and Series X only. But why do you think that? Why? Why? Why does it have to be PS5 and Series X only to be truly next gen? Why? There are plenty of PC games that are going to come out that are next gen and have next gen features that will run on weaker PCs. Are they suddenly not next gen when they can run on weaker systems? That argument has no substance because game engines have agility and adaptability. They're not building games in brand new engines. They're using current engines. They're using the engines that they used on previous generations of consoles. And guess what they're doing? They're adding higher resolution. They're adding better load times. They're adding better lighting. They're adding better frames per second. Because if it releases on old hardware, it's not truly next-gen title. So now you're just doing a tautology. You're just restating what you just stated, and it's circular reasoning. If it releases on old-gen hardware, it's not next-gen. No, you just said that. That's not an argument. You've just restated your assertion in a different order. Unreal 5 is truly next-gen, is it not? Unreal 5 has the ability to put in truly next-gen features, and this is going to blow your hair back. Unreal 5 can be optimized to run on very weak computers, and it can be optimized to run on older consoles. That doesn't mean something built in Unreal 5 is suddenly not next-gen. Maybe Cliffo's helping me make my point, I'm not sure. That's how game engines work. I think people just betray their ignorance about how games are developed and how game engines work when they say what Stealth is saying. That just simply isn't true. Look at the difference in quality. Unbelievable. Anybody that's like, this is a PS4 game, look at that, and then look at this. Completely different in quality and lighting. It's completely different. The generation thing is some old console colloquialism. It needs to die. Elden Ring is more replayable compared to the new God of War games. God of War 2018 I platinumed, then I never wanted to play again. Every review I read said that the replay value in Ragnarok was higher than 2018. They all said that. Let's compare this to Gotham Knights, that is next gen only. This game looks by and large far superior. Exactly. Thank you, Detective Seeds. Oh yeah, it's not truly next gen when you launch on the old gen systems. Really? Gotham Knights is next gen only. Do you really want to look to that game as an example of a truly next gen title? Why isn't Gotham Knights next gen? It doesn't look next gen to me. Are you honestly going to say that? That's all you need to do, guys. Once you leave behind old gen, you're truly next gen. So that means Gotham Knights is next gen and this game isn't. Really? Do a side-by-side comparison of this game to Gotham Knights and try to substantiate that argument. How dare this game run on an RTX 3080? It's totally not next gen, says a 4090 owner. Like, you have to understand the logic. The logic is game engines can be optimized to run on weaker systems and PCs, which means when a game runs on an older system, it doesn't mean it's not next gen. I played 2018 6 times, now 7. Oh, you're replaying it again. Because something is next gen doesn't make it good. That term needs to disappear. Won't pay $70 for a one-time experience. I will. This thing's going to sell like hotcakes. And folks that are like, I'm not going to pay $70 for a one-time experience. Yeah, I don't think you're in the minority. I think you're in the minority. I think plenty of people are going to buy games like this. Guys, we're closing in on 400 viewers. I need you to smash the like button. This is my second stream of the day. Those of you that came from members only, be sure that you smash that like button. There was tons of you that came over, close to 200, and we have 370 people here right now. I need 200 likes on this video very quickly. When we don't have a good like ratio, we will get punished for that. Replayability is a non-factor for me. If I get one great experience, that's good enough. Yeah, you're talking about people that right now are saying they played the game for 35 hours. If you go completionist, you're talking 50 hours, and that's not worth the money? That's not worth the money? Like, what are you talking about? All that matters is that it has performance and features you can't get on old hardware, period. That's exactly what I'm talking about. If you buy a game for your PC and it has ray tracing, 4K resolution, incredible frames per second, and instantaneous load times, those are all next-gen features, but they optimized it within the engine and all those things can get turned off and it runs on an old system, is it no longer a next-gen system? Is it no longer a next-gen game, I mean? Like, the logic doesn't track. The argument breaks down. It's such a weak argument. In light of the actual technical realities about how games are developed, you can't say a game's not next gen if it runs on an old system. It's not a substantiated position. It isn't. It's like a faith-made system. It's like a belief. It's an ideology. It's not backed by the market. It's not backed by the technical realities of how games are built. It just isn't. People pay $20 for a 2-hour movie, but not $70 for 35 hours. I don't understand. 23 million people paid $60 for God of War. Plenty of folks want more from their games than endless grind and live service. A concise, well-told story and great gameplay is what a lot of folks want. Tom with a 2-spot. IGN review masterpiece. Was Asgard shown? None of the reviews I looked at showed Asgard. We are trying to avoid spoilers. If you're just tuning in, God of War Ragnarok review embargo is gone, and we are doing a review rundown, and we are avoiding spoilers. I need 27 more likes on this video. Thanks so much for tuning in. You guys are the absolute best. I don't suppose the one that we just recorded. Gosh, you're gonna make me do it. Where's my hard drive? My hard drive's over there. The original BioShock and BioShock Infinite were one-time experiences, and I loved every second of those games. I would gladly pay $70 for a game that gives me that experience. I got 170 hours out of Elden Ring in one playthrough, so when people pay $50 when people say 50 hours for full completion, I see where they say that value might not be there comparing the two. You're comparing two completely different games, though, Dalton. That would be like saying I played World of Warcraft for 1,000 hours, and this game is going to cost the same amount of money, and I'm only going to get 50 hours. Like, you can't make those comparisons. It would be like comparing... It would honestly be like comparing a television series where after you watch 10 episodes, you've watched 10 hours, and saying that, well, that 10 hours was automatically better than the 4-hour movie. What the frick? That you can't compare those things. They're executing on telling the experience and getting you through the experience in a completely different way. Like, the way that you experience God of War, like, are you serious? There's like 3 to 4 hours of cutscenes and dialogue that are cinematic. It's almost like watching a movie. That's not in Elden Ring. What if I said that? What if that was my determination of value? You would say that's not fair, right? Well, Elden Ring doesn't have all these amazing high-fidelity cutscenes with professional-level voice acting. It's like watching a movie. Elden Ring doesn't have that. You'd say, well, that's not the kind of game Elden Ring is, and you would be right. You would be right to push back on me saying that. You can't just purely compare gameplay hours. I don't think that's not a comparison that makes sense. We need 17 more likes. Come on, y'all, wake up and push the like button. It's so cringy to have to do the constant begging for likes. People are talking about God of War and Elden Ring, but I still say Stray solos. No, Stray's not going to win. I think Stray gets a nomination. Because it like took the gaming world by storm, but that's like an honorable mention. Stray has no chance of winning. Grinding to level 500 for Elden Beast. What are you even doing playing that much, right? Went to the office today, so I haven't been here that much. I hope things are going well. Thank you, Jesse. If you're good enough to beat Elden Ring in less than an hour. If you're good enough, you can beat Elden Ring in less than an hour. Right, I mean, and nobody would say that devalues Elden Ring. Do you know what I'm saying? Nobody would say that. That's not a thing that anybody would say and be serious about, you know. Spider-Man Game of the Year next year. Wait a month. Ragnarok will be an offer in no time. You are seemingly unfamiliar with how Sony treats their games. You think wait a month and Ragnarok will be on sale? You think that? How many Xboxes do you own? Why do you think that? Did they discount Horizon Forbidden West a month after it came out? Don't watch the review. The game is all leaked. Well, I mean, we're not watching reviews with spoilers. Who cares if it was on sale? I mean, they might do a holiday sale, but that won't have anything to do with the fact that the game's not good. If they do a Christmas sale, I mean, they do that with a lot of stuff. Forbidden West was on sale a month later. I mean, if they typically do that, then that's not indicative of a game's quality. Do they typically drop a game to sale price a month later? I've never paid any attention because I've as a YouTuber, I'm early adopting. I'm not looking for game sales. Like, I'm buying it and playing it as soon as possible. Does Sony typically do that? Yeah, like $10 off? Okay, well then you're not proving anything. If they mark things down a month later, that's basically... what would we call that? Standard practice at that point? That's not an indication of a game's quality. Eugene says no, it wasn't. I don't remember it going on sale that quickly. They won't drop the price anytime soon. I do see a holiday sale, maybe $10 off. Yeah, like in December. Well, but that would be a month later. False. Horizon Forbidden West was full price for several months before receiving a discount. Not from Sony, it wasn't. Horizon Forbidden West was not on sale on PS5 a month later. That's what I was saying. That's what I originally thought. I'm like, I don't think Sony does that. Like, when he said that, I immediately pushed back and was like, no. Maybe not a sale as much as a drop of price. I don't think so. If you're going to like a retailer and they mark it down a month later, that's not the same. That's them trying to get rid of the discs. 10% off is basically not a sale. I mean, it kind of is, but not really. Well, I mean, 10% off is a sale. You know, $7 off is the definition of a sale. 10% off is the definition of a sale. Like Cyber Monday, if God of War was 5 off, who cares? Yeah, I genuinely, there was a time where I felt bad for people that acted that way. They would like come into streams and just like instinctively hate stuff and say things like that. I don't feel bad for you anymore. I've come to loathe people like you. You're miserable. You know what I mean? It's like, just let people enjoy a game. Let people enjoy being excited. Like, just because your life's hollow and lacking meaning doesn't mean you need to like take it away from other people. Fill your life with something that makes you smile. You know what I'm saying? Like, pick up a book, pick up a hobby, like go make friends. I don't know. Like, do something that puts a smile on your face. Only miserable people would behave in the way that gamers behave sometimes. Like, I'm gonna go and try and make people upset because they're excited about a video game. Like, there was a time where I felt bad for people like that, but it's the time for pity is over. You are loathsome creatures. You know? You're loathsome. Humanity shouldn't have to put up with you. Like, you should be required to upgrade in your intelligence and your passion. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to stay where you are. We demand better of you. We demand better of you. Check the image from Discord members chat. Discord members chat. What image? Oh, amazing. The PS5 runs 2160 30, 2160. It averages 40 on the 120, 2160 60 dynamic resolution, and then 1440 performance mode 120 unlocked frame rate, and it averages 60. Yeah, so I'll probably do performance mode 60 and just do the 2160 60, and it'll drop between 2160 and 1440. I'll just do the 60 hertz performance mode. I think that's what I'll do. Hang on a minute. Let me start this over because he's got really good things at the beginning. We're just letting the gameplay loop, letting you guys basically, you need to watch his review. I'm not going to let you hear his review. My members got to hear it, but you guys have to watch it on your own. If you're just tuning in, the God of War Ragnarok review embargo has dropped. The scores are undeniably high. Just going to rattle off all of the outlets that gave it a 10. IGN, Gaming Bolt, Gaming Nexus, Next Gen Base, Push Square, Press Start. VGC, Twinfinite, and EGM gave it 5 out of 5. Game Informer gave it a 9.5. GameSpot gave it a 9. Easy Allies gave it a 9. The Metacritic score is at 94. So the Korean IGN score of 6 is just I think, demonstrably stupid. Dynamic 4K 60? Yeah. 1440 60? Well, the image says otherwise. The image in members chat shows that the 60 hertz performance mode is dynamic between 2160 and 1440 is what it says. So performance mode is actually ranging between 2160 and 1440. At least that's what the image in members chat says. IGN put spoilers right in the first frame without any warning. They did? Why would they do that? 1440 60? Yeah, but oh, you're going to play 1440 60. Oh, I see, because you don't want the resolution to move, Wheeze. So you're going to do performance mode 120 and get 1440 60. I got it. Okay. But it says unlocked frame rate, so does that mean it's going to range and it's not going to cap it at 60? That means it's going to fluctuate. IGN's been in the game long enough to know better than doing that. What are they thinking? Maybe you already went over this, but how do reviews compare to Elden Ring reviews? Are they vastly different? I mean, it's so hard to know because Elden Ring got similar crazy scores. It got 9s and 10s. You know what I'm saying? Game is not 120 FPS. Okay, no one said that. The 120 hertz mode, it ranges from, like, we're hearing from 80 to 90. It's IGN. They always spoil. I don't understand why they would do that. Like, if I was Santa Monica, I'd be up their nose right now if they actually did that. If they showed a spoiler from moment 1. Is Twitter like dying? Not interested in it. Game of the year is trending. Elden Ring or Ragnarok for Game of the Year. Who's got it? Let me go to IGN on Twitter and see if people are ripping them in the comments for it. Or, because I don't want to go to their video. IGN review. I think Pain Point. Truly special. Great review, Simon. Thoroughly enjoyed. People aren't saying anything. I'm not going to let their video play. We need more games like this. No microtransactions. It's oppressive. Only one. Literal chills. It's a shame. Crazy how there's not a single bad game in the series. I'm not seeing them get any hate in the comments for spoiler. Yo, red badge in 2 months. Woot woot. Thank you, Matt, for doing 22 months. Guys, if you're enjoying the show, do me a favor. And if you're a member, I need you to use the upgrade command. Right? I need you to use the upgrade command. ! Upgrade. Oh, they showed Odin and Thor? Well, I mean, people had already seen Thor. Yeah, that's pretty significant. I mean, we know they're in the game, but still. I was going to check out the review. Everybody is saying that as soon as the IGN review starts, there's a significant spoiler in it, so don't watch it, is what people are saying. Guys, if you are paying for your own membership on my channel, I need you to use the link in chat. You need to go to a full or a VIP membership. The base level membership is not going to get you all of the members-only content starting in December. So I need all paying members to close the chat and click See Perks or use ! Upgrade. Click the link. I need everybody to be either on a full membership for $6 or VIP for $9.99. The $5 membership is going to be designed for gifted members only. They gave God of War 2018 a 10 out of 10. Personally, it felt like a 9 out of 10 to me. I think Elden Ring will get Game of the Year. IGN gave the game a 10 in their review, but they show a major spoiler in the early portion of the video. I don't know why they would do that. They weren't getting ripped up for it in the comments, so I don't know if basically anybody is saying that. IGN spoiler is basically new footage of the Kratos Thor fight. Oh, and they show Odin. Okay. Yeah, so if you guys don't want to see more of the Thor fight and you don't want to see what Odin looks like, then do not watch IGN's trailer. Or, I'm sorry, review. All I can see in that review is DLC. Can I stay at level 3? You don't have to downgrade, Matt, if you want to stay at that high-level membership. We've asked people to downgrade to VIP and then gift members instead. That's more useful. Like, just giving me extra money every month is super awesome, and I love you for it. But if you do a VIP at $9.99 and then take the extra money and gift members, that's more effective. Angry Pete says, over 400 watching. Hit the like button. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Second stream of the day, the God of War Ragnarok review embargo is gone, and no spoilers, but this game is getting crazy high praise. Now, this is one thing, you see them squeezing through there, that is one thing SkillUp did not like. He acknowledged that it's not hiding loading screens, but he says it's just, there's too much of it. He says there's too much of it in the game. He got annoyed with it. So here's squeeze-throughs are not, for loading screens. There were people that had worked on previous games adding that commentary to the public, and, SkillUp's like, that's great, that's fine. There were still too many times that it happened. I just preloaded on my PS5, and hopefully the 1440-2160 performance mode recognizes it's on 1440 monitor and just sticks to 1440. Right now on Metacritic, it has 111 positive ratings, 0 mixed ratings, and 0 negative ratings. Here he's going to show off a loading screen. So from here, I'll back it up. So he's going to show you a loading screen here. So bing, he just hit it. Let's do a count here. Right? Bing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roughly 6 seconds of a loading screen if it's from a death. He says there are no loading screens, obviously, because it's a single shot game. And then if you do die, the loading screen looks like it's roughly 6 seconds long. Squeezing through became annoying when I was replaying the first game. Sadly, I don't own a PS5. Only one of my friends does. I wish this had gotten a PC port right away so more people could play. PS5s are still in high demand. Yeah, I think this will be one of the faster games to come to PC, but I still think you're going to have to wait. God of War Ragnarok PC is likely 18 months away, I would think. I do think it's going to come faster. It's going to be one of the fastest games to come to PC, but I don't think it's going to be any faster than 18 months, because in 12 months, they'll probably throw it on PS Plus. That'll be one of the first things they decide to do with it. The PS5 has a setting to enable the 1440 mode. If you have that setting, yeah, did you know, Wheezy, you can go into your settings and force your PlayStation 5 to always be at 1440. Just do that. I bet you if you do that, it would cap the game at 1440, wouldn't it? Because you can just go in the settings and do that. I did that because of my capture card. Not how it works, says Paul. I feel like it did it for me in Call of Duty. When I was trying to capture Call of Duty, it kept flickering my cap card, and I went to the settings and I forced 1440, and it stopped doing it. It was always, that means my PlayStation 5 is always at 1440 now. I've not done anything on the PS5. It just kind of sits there. Elden Ring has bad user scores on Meta, like 2 points difference. Was it brigaded? No, it had all those problems week 1, Eugene. I think the reason people hurt Elden Ring week 1 on user scores is because of all of the frame hitching and stuff. People were irritated. They saw all these 9s and 10s, and they went to Metacritic and were like, what the frig, this game runs bad. Guys, we have almost 500 people here. We should easily have 300 likes on the video. Let's get 50 more likes. Smash that like button for me. I hate that we have to harp on likes, but YouTube will literally hurt a video if we have a bad ratio. Because there are so many people here. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, feel free to do so. Let me pause the video. Usually I am in this scene doing a talk show, very interactive talk show. I'm also a safe for work broadcaster, which means I'm not swearing. We hope that you're enjoying the show enough to hit subscribe and come back other days. And we will be playing this game. On Monday, right? On Monday, we will be doing, Monday and Tuesday, we'll be doing a part 1 and a part 2, and that is designed to let you do a rewatch of the entire story from the first game. So if you want to get caught up on 2018 story, we will be doing a part 1, part 2 on Monday and Tuesday next week. We'll be watching a supercut that a guy did a really great job on. He's included literally everything you could possibly think of. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel and make sure you're here Monday and Tuesday for that. We're already having a great day today, and the game's not even out yet. Right here, if you need proof that the game looks better, just look at this shot from 2018. Look at Kratos' hands. Look at Atreus' face. Like, I'm telling you, people that say Ragnarok looks like a PS4 game, they're not playing the PS4 God of War 2018. They're not. People did the same thing with Forbidden West. You can now, you couldn't before the 1440 mode. Oh, that's a recent update, isn't it? It will output at 1440, but the game renders at whatever mode you choose. Oh, right. Right. Okay. That makes sense. That's exactly how it works. If you select 1440 on the console, it will not try to upscale the 1440 to 2160. If you're on 2160 monitor TV, the console will try to upscale to 2160, says Corey. But Corey's saying if you set your PS5 to 1440, it should keep the game at 1440. If you guys are just tuning in, we have skill ups. We have skill ups review looping in the background. So here is where he's talking about Ragnarok. He actually strongly encourages you to brush up on your mythology. He says brush up on your understanding of Norse mythology and Ragnarok before playing this game. He says it will make a big difference. So I may try to do that over the weekend. He recommends this book here, Neil Gaiman, Norse Mythology, as a way to brush up before playing this game. He says it significantly adds to the experience of God of War Ragnarok gameplay. You have like just as many perfect brigades as 0 brigaders, so those cancel. That's wrong, Lono. The game still renders higher and super samples back down to 1440. Oh. But wouldn't that be, if you want a consistent resolution, wouldn't that be the thing to do, though, Paul? Any PS4 versus PS5 comparison? No. No. There's some good sections here that show the previous game right after showing this game, right? I think that shows that it's not just a PS4 game. There's a great section coming up. I don't know where it is. Right here. So the thing you're going to do is you're going to look at the detail, the lighting, you're going to look at the metal, you're going to look at the way that the lighting is interfacing with the characters and the world and how vibrant it looks, and then look how flat this looks in comparison. Right? Like, that doesn't look bad. I'm not saying that looks bad, but I'm saying anybody that says Ragnarok's a PS4 game, all you have to do is show them this little section. You show them this comparison. Anybody that thinks that God of War Ragnarok is just a PS4 game isn't looking at this game with open eyes, or they're looking on a terrible monitor. Because this is Ragnarok, and the lighting and the level of detail and the metal and the way everything looks more vibrant, and then compare it to this. This is more flat. The lighting is definitely not nearly as dynamic or interacting with the metal in any way. And I mean, look at Atreus. It's just very, very much a PS4 game. This is a great showing of what the PS4 could do, but it is nothing like what you see in the previous scene. The basic performance mode is dynamic 2160 at 60 FPS. The high frame rate performance mode is 1440 between 80 and 90. If you select 1440 mode and 120 Hz, it will not try to upscale to 2160. Okay. Like right there is another great example. Look at the movement. Look at Kratos. Look at him throw his axe. This all looks great. None of this looks bad. And then look at this. The way the camera moves, the way the characters move, the number of frames, the lighting, the level of detail. This does not look like a PS4 game. Anybody saying that either doesn't own a PS5 or they're watching these trailers on a really bad TV monitor or something. I don't even know. I don't know what they're doing. Also, watching this through YouTube as opposed to the live on a quality screen in front of you is going to help. I promise in person, the game will be astounding, says Fuzzy. I think they both look good. I wasn't saying one looked good and one looked bad. I was saying there's a clear difference between one and the other. It's so clear. Like, just look at the level of detail in Kratos' skin and armor, and then that detail is highlighted and enhanced by the lighting. And then look at the PS4 footage of 2018. It's not comparable. It's an obvious difference between the two games. It's huge. It's enormous. It's an enormous difference. PS4 is being generous, more like an N64 game. Yeah, this doesn't look any better than Donkey Kong Country. It doesn't. You're right. Don't necessarily discount that either, at least not completely. Okay, so the 1440 mode is locked at 14. The two modes at 1440. And it does not matter if you're on a 1080 display or 4K. The game renders at 1440. Why is it getting 10 out of 10 across the board from every review outlet? Must be from the bad graphics. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Looks like Turok to me. Yeah. It looks like Turok. That's a frickin' throwback right there. Turok. Oh my gosh. Guys, we need 27 more likes on the video. I hate harping on it, but there is way too many people here. There's almost 500 people here. A lot of you might be lurking. Maybe you stepped away. This is our third stream of the day. We did a Microsoft stream this morning. Then we did members. And now we're doing this. We're looking at reviews. We're looking at review outlets. Yep. right, give me a second. I'm gonna do something for my producer. Enjoy the footage for like 2 seconds. Okay. All right. Open the folder. He wants my video that I recorded, my reviews rundown. Let me get to him. Don't feel bad. I 65-inch myself. I like a lot of what I've seen in these reviews, but I haven't seen very much RTS elements. They could have cut back on the story and added in more RTS. Thoughts? I feel like you're being... That's got to be a joke, right, Abe? It's too much story. There's not enough RTS. They could have done more ray tracing. All right, I need you guys to give me like 2 seconds here. I need to... that's not what I wanted to do. Make Thor a Fortnite skin. Hang on, let me go in here. It's for YouTube. Okay, hang on. Drop box. All right. Creature wants my review rundown like right now, so I'm gonna give it to him. Did I say RTS is ray tracing? Wait, sorry, what? RTX is ray tracing. RTS is real-time strategy. I just saw RT and I just assumed you meant ray tracing. That's what I thought you were making a joke. We need 7 more likes. 7 more likes. Yeah. Sorry. What? Yeah, he was clearly joking. Game looks amazing, but it's being held back. It's getting old. How about how amazing the devs at Santa Monica are to make this game amazing and can run on the PS4? That's exactly right, J Murph. You know what I want to say to people that are like, the game is held back? You know what I want to say to them? Okay, well, find me a game that looks and runs better than this. Do it. No, seriously, I want you to try to do it. Where are the games that look so much better than this and run so much better than this? Where are they? Where are those games? Do you think is there one right now you can point to? I don't think so. I don't think you can say that Returnal or Ratchet and Clank look better than this. They're next gen only. Are we going to try Gotham Knights is next gen only? Forza? I mean, I would not say that Forza looks better than this because Forza is a completely different style of game. Like a car game? Run better? Ratchet maybe? I don't think Ratchet runs better. I think Ratchet has the same modes and the same performance thresholds. Looks better, subjective, but I think God of War runs better. Demon Souls? No. No, I don't think Demon Souls. Returnal? No, I don't think so. I don't think there's any graphical fidelity in Returnal that this game is not hitting. I don't think there's any performance in Returnal. You said look better, not play better? Yeah, I don't think you can pinpoint a game. I said look and perform. I said both. Looks and performs better than this. Find me a game that looks and performs better than this. Do it. If this game was held back and it's just a PS4 game, then okay, well, find me a bunch of amazing next-gen only games right now that just look and perform way better than this. I don't think you can. Even if you find next-gen games that are beautiful, like Demon's Souls, like Returnal, like Ratchet and Clank, they're going to have very similar graphical fidelity. They're going to have performance and graphical parity with this game. With respect to lighting, the environments, the character designs, the voice acting. There's nothing in this game that you can point to that like puts it below those games. Callisto Protocol? I don't know. I've seen Callisto Protocol. I think the water and the characters and the environments look incredible in that. I don't know if you can definitively say that it looks so much better than this game. I like this puzzle solving. So it looks like there's new mechanics in the puzzle solving. So this puzzle, he has a reflective board that he's going to like bounce his axe off, and it shows him the direction that it goes. And then he's also using verticality and grapple spots to navigate the area. Very, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, Rise of Ronin does kind of look like Tsushima sequel. It does. 299 likes. You guys edge it every time. It's obnoxious. Let's make the host constantly disrupt the show and beg for likes. Because that's not value degrading to the video. I mean, even if she thinks God of War Ragnarok is just DLC, I'm not kicking a 10 out of bed. Oh my gosh, Sean, why? Callisto's cross-gen, by the way. Oops-a-daisy. Oh no, someone referenced Callisto Protocol and it's a cross-gen game. Oh no. Hogwarts Legacy will probably look better. What did you say? Did you type that? Do you want people to take that seriously? Do you want people to attribute that to you? You want credit for that? Should I put that on Hogwarts Legacy's box? Hogwarts Legacy will probably look better than God of War Ragnarok. Come on, bro. Here he compares to other games. He's got like Bayonetta and stuff. Yeah, Gotham Knights for sure. The appeal of the game is important. I find God of War very appealing, but not a fan of Callisto yet. I just got a mini LED a few months ago and kind of wish I went OLED. People will harp on the combat not being much different. Well, Elden Ring's combat's not that much different than Dark Souls 3. Yeah, if that's going to be your reason to not give it Game of the Year, for sure. For sure. I don't think the point is what other games look better. The question, could this game look even better if it wasn't on PS4? That's a great question. That's demonstrably proven like false. Or no, not false. What is that? What's the phrase I want to use? You can look to games right now that are only on PS5 that are not at a higher level of graphical fidelity and performance that from this game. Ratchet and Clank and Returnal and the Demon's Souls remake are all three next-gen only games. Oh, and Gotham Knights. Like, as far as graphical performance and graphical parity, look at the graphics modes. Look at the graphics modes that you can run this game on PS5 and tell me that they would have been able to do much more. The Last of Us 1 remake, I would argue, looks just as good as this. Yeah, isn't that a next-gen only title? $70 next-gen only title, Last of Us 1 remake. And does this game look inferior to that product? Can you find a PS5 only title that makes this game looks inferior and makes this game look like it was held back? Can you? Look at the performance measurements we're getting from Digital Foundry. Look at the stability of the game and all of the things they let you do with it graphically and performance-wise. Can you truly say they could have done more? Because if they did more, it probably would have hindered performance. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's a substantiated position. I think I truly think it's a bankrupt position to say, oh, this game was held back and they could have done so much more. But really? I don't think so. There's so much evidence to the contrary in the way the game performs and in the visible PS5 only titles right now in the market. There is no evidence that this game was held back. There isn't. A good example is Plague Tale Requiem. It looks stunning, but it doesn't run better. Yeah, that's a good example of a game that just went crazy. Wukong's not out yet. You're only seeing vertical slices, which means we have no idea if it's going to look and run that well. Starfield will be next gen only, and I don't think it looks better than God of War Ragnarok and probably won't run better. Yo, TJ Rage with the 4-month membership. This is exactly why I said this current gen ain't hitting for me personally. After 2 years, we can't think of a competing next gen title. What do you mean? Did members in full pink members? Oh my gosh. That's going to be a blip. There's going to be a follow-up blip. We switched ingest servers. 2:15. I don't know why we're switching ingest servers at 2:15. That's really late in the day. We're going to need something to bounce back from this. We'll lose a ton of viewers. Remember, there will be a follow-up blip. If anything looks funky or sounds funky, just refresh. Aaron with a $5 tip. Keep up the great work, Lono. One of the best gaming chalk channels out there. Thank you very much. If we could get some gifted members or some super chats or something, because we're going to spike up in viewership and then we're going to drop way back down. And gifted members and super chats help because it keeps people here and it pulls people into the stream. Because the viewership's going to be all over the place for the next 5 minutes. This is the way I said generation crap. It's just a bygone era and it's old. Well, and see, I've been trying to say for a while, I tried to tell people, I was like, I really, really don't think people realize that we are near the ceiling of what these consoles can do. And I feel like people that have this super weird wish and hope that we haven't begun to see what these consoles are capable of, you're going to be disappointed for the next 7 to 8 years because that's not true. I don't think there's some I don't think when Spider-Man 2 comes out that anybody's going to play that game and say, see, look how held back God of War Ragnarok was. I truly don't think anybody's going to say that. I don't. I don't think so. I'm not saying this game was held back. I'm taking the opposite stance since everyone is just agreeing with you, which is boring. So my question isn't what other games do. I question, could this game have done more? The answer to that question, Solemn, you know what the answer to that question is? No, it couldn't have done more. Because the game that you're going to play in 6 days wouldn't exist if they would have gone PS5 only and pushed it farther. The game we're going to play in 6 days wouldn't have existed because they would have had to wait a lot longer to start developing it. We would have had to wait a lot longer for the game to release. It wouldn't have been in development yet. So no. That's the problem with the presumption that they could have done so much more. Nope, because this game wouldn't be coming out in 6 days if they did that. You would be waiting probably 2 more years for God of War Ragnarok PS5 only, and that would have been a terrible timeline to conclude the saga. With what they've done, the next God of War game can come out in 5 or 6 years and be next gen only, and guess what it can be? It can be near the end of the life cycle of the PS5 excellence, which is always when games hit their peak. We are going to be in a better position because they timed things the way that they did. It would have been in development. It just wouldn't be anywhere near release. It wouldn't have been in development yet, Troll, because they started building this game shortly after 2018 shipped, and the PS5 dev kits weren't out yet. So no, that's not true. We're seeing the pinnacle of gaming and people are still complaining. This cross-gen game still looks and clearly plays better than anything else out there. Game should be 100 by now, honestly. Oh, price-wise? How about given a timeline not contingent on the current gen console's release? If they had already been around before this game's development and not being on old gen, could it have made improvements? Well, of course, yes. I'm not ignorant to that reality. I just think that what's the point in arguing that? Well, if the PS5 dev kits would have already been out in circulation and they could have immediately started building the game for PS5 only, and they could have just left behind PS4 and they would have been able to hit this timeline, would it have been able to do more? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But at that point, why even bother talking about it? What is the point of that discussion? Let's create an alternate reality where the PS5 is the PS7 and it comes with the rocket ship. Wouldn't that be a better reality and I could go to more places and do and experience more things? Well, sure. But what in the frick good is it to discuss that? Like, who cares? It's not a reality. If we changed everything that led to this game's development coming out, could they have done more? Yeah, maybe. I'll be honest with you. I don't think a PS5 only version of this game would have looked much different. I don't. Do you want to know why? Because they would have used the same engine, they would have used the same assets, they would have done a lot of the same things. The differences would be so freaking marginal. They would have done the same things. They'd be like, all right, give them lighting, give them a performance mode, let's add some textures, let's make it look cooler, let's add some fluidity, right? Like, it would have largely turned out to be the same game to a certain degree. Like, it's the same engine, it's the same characters, it's the same world. So the PS5 only version of God of War Ragnarok that people they envisioned in their minds, it's like it would have largely been the same as what you're looking at. They wouldn't have suddenly used a new engine. They wouldn't have rebuilt all the assets. That would be terrible bandwidth efficiency. We don't ask for ages in the chat because it leads to people saying their ages, and if they're like a minor, we don't want that. We don't want that. Please don't ask for people's ages in chat. In the last year, inflation has been like 10%, but video games has been $60 the last 20 years. We're tripping over $10. I don't engage people that complain about the $10 price increase. I don't engage them. Be a cheapskate. I don't care. Don't buy games. I will, and I'll enjoy them. I don't care to talk to people like that anymore. You're irrelevant if you're upset about the $70 and you're upset about the $10 price increase. I don't think people like that are worth engaging with. I don't. I think they're beneath the gaming industry and where it's going. They're some penny-pinching cheapskate that has no idea, like, why games cost more and why we're having better experiences. Like, they're just not worth engaging. I'm so tired of engaging with people like that. It's just exhausting. It's not a logical argument. It's not a substantive argument. It's just literally some emotionally driven, fallacious thing about, we're getting ripped off and games used to be so much better. Like, shut up. Quintar Silver with a $5 tip through Super Chat. And Luis Castillo. Yo, what's good? Just realizing this is kind of whack year in gaming. Only 2 great games this year. Here's 2023. Thank you so much for 8 months. Luis, make sure and upgrade to a full membership, though. Anybody who's at a base membership, you guys don't want to stay there. You need to upgrade. It's $1, but you're not going to want to stay at a base membership. Base membership is designed for gifted memberships. And only 2 great games this year? I don't agree with that. Yeah, I don't agree with that. We got Elden Ring. We got Horizon Forbidden West. We got Stray. There was a couple of other indie titles that were really good, did we not? I'm forgetting their names now. And then Ragnarok. And then Callisto's not out yet. We're going to have 4 or 5 really good games this year. Yeah, Sifu. A lot of people like Sifu. I didn't like Sifu, but a lot of people like Sifu. That was a solid indie. Cult of the Lamb was a huge indie hit. Huge indie hit. Calling Stray great is a stretch. Review scores, mic drop. Yeah, Tunic came out this year. Yo, thank you for upgrading to full membership, Lewis. Yeah, I mean, we got Last of Us Part 1 and Unreal, Uncharted and all that, but people aren't going to count those because they're remakes, remasters, whatever. You guys think Gotham Knights is 70? No. No, Gotham Knights is not a $70 game. It's a very poorly ported mobile game. It's what it is. It's not worth $10. It's not worth $10. It's a trash game. Like the only people defending it are the people that were defending it before they played it. Oh yeah, we're forgetting the Modern Warfare 2 campaign was really good. Yeah, I completely forgot about the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. I thought it was awesome. Yo, Mipsy, 9 months and a full membership. Thank you so much, Mipsy. This section of his review, he does talk about how, the squeeze through sections, are a little tiresome. Well, there you go, Lono. One game's not worth 70. The no games are worth 70. Yeah, like, I'm not saying that all games should be 70, but when really good games are coming out at 70, then, like, ideologically complaining about the $70 increase is what I get annoyed by. Right? That's what I get annoyed by. It's like, well, wait a minute. Like, there's no reason to just take that position blanketedly. Now, if you want to look at a game like Gotham Knights and say, this does not look or run like a $70 next-gen only title, I think that's totally fun. That's totally fine and fair. I am 100% behind the gamers that are like, if a game hits 70, I'm going to be more critical. You should be. You should be. You shouldn't just accept, oh yeah, it's a $70 game. Like, oh, that's fine. That's always fine. No, it's not always fine. It's not. If it's a shorter game, if it's an indie title, if it's clearly a game with a smaller budget and a smaller team, if it's less polished, if it has no next-gen features, these are all things that you should be asking if you're looking at a $70 game. Like, why is it at the premium pinnacle gaming price? What's the reason for that? Not every new game is worth 60 to 70. I don't get how and when this became the industry standard. It's not the industry standard, but it's becoming the industry standard. I don't have a PS5. Should I still buy this for the PS4? Apparently the PS4 Pro is landing in the 40 to 50 frames range, Viking. So if that's good enough for you, I wouldn't my decision would be to wait, but I'm not you. Games are still cheaper than they've ever been. Paid $70 for Street Fighter 2 for the Super Nintendo. Yeah, I bought cartridges for $70 and $80 back in the day. That was like dropping like $100 to $120. I don't know how you can forget about the free-to-play Diablo Immortal. I mean, best games of 2022. Oh, don't forget Lego. The Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga game came out this year. Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge came out this year. Kirby and the Forgotten Land came out this year. Pokemon Acreus came out this year. Those were all highly praised games. The Quarry came out this year. Plague Tale Requiem was beautiful and had performance issues. Modern Warfare 2 campaign we referenced. Last of Us Part 1. Mario Rabbids Spark of Hope. I didn't get into that, but I thought I heard good things about it. A lot of games came out this year. A lot of good games came out this year. Dying Light 2, I don't know if I would consider that a great example. That game didn't do too well. Acrius? Isn't that how it's pronounced? Pokemon Acrius? I mean, Gran Turismo, I didn't want to mention Gran Turismo because it had microtransaction controversy. PS Direct has PS5s for sale again. The Modern Warfare 2 bundle. Dying Light 2 is an excellent game. Yeah, I wouldn't list Dying Light as one of the good games this year. It didn't do that well. Arceus or Arceus? Oh, Arceus or Arceus? Oh, Arceus. I thought it was Acrius. Anyway, that was another big title this year. Big popular title this year. Arceus. New Pokemon comes out in 2 weeks. Yeah, there's another Pokemon coming out. That's right. For PC guys, it has been a stellar year with God of War 2018, Spider-Man, Uncharted, Miles Morales, etc. That's true, Sane. If you're a PC guy, holy moly, you've gotten some amazing titles. You left out oh no, you didn't. You did say Uncharted. I thought you left out Uncharted. Yeah, Uncharted, man. Dying Light was considered a success by the dev. I don't really care what they consider a success. I care what the community said and felt. Did not do well, did it? I feel like Dying Light got really bad review scores. November 20th is the cutoff date. Oh, for Game of the Year? Did Keeley say the 20th? Yeah, I can't watch Digital Foundry's video. I don't think they play nice with people reacting or using their content. Most YouTubers don't care, especially when you go no. Whoa, when you go no audio. Sorry, somebody sent me a funny video. Dying Light got a 76 from the review outlets and like a 4.5 from the community. That's pretty bad. It's pretty dadgum bad. Rough. Spoilers are in the Digital Foundry video, for the record. Be careful. Guys, I don't know if you've watched it yet or not. Apparently, the Digital Foundry video has spoilers in it. Opened it, saw the big spoilers. Yeah, apparently IGN's video opens up and you see a whole lot of Odin and you see a whole lot of the fight with Thor, and people consider that pretty spoilery. So IGN's review in Digital Foundry should probably be avoided. That's some big old woofers. Yeah, woof woof. They clearly grow. Look how big they are there. They're smaller in another part of the video. Oh, they let you know up front. Spoiler alert. This video contains some spoilers. You have been warned. Oh, so Digital Foundry lets you know. Yeah, IGN doesn't say anything. Apparently, they just show it like right away. What's good, Worthy is my name. How are you? Digital Foundry video up. Yeah, we're not going to watch the Digital Foundry video because the Digital Foundry video contains spoilers. This video from Skill Up is the one I'm looping because even the Games Radar one I felt had pretty significant spoilers in it. I just feel like we do the same thing on the other side. A game that some like is now meh or trash as opposed to having a decent discussion about it. Dying Light 2 community loves that game. Okay, Fuzzy, the problem with what you're saying is that, yeah, the people that still continue to play it love the game. That's not surprising. The people that continue to play bowling love bowling too. That doesn't mean that I can go suddenly fall in love with bowling. Like, the people that continue to play Dying Light love the game. Okay, well, the review scores tell a completely different story. Right? Like, I'm not saying it's trash, but when it gets a 76 from the review outlets, and then it gets like a 4.9 from the community, that's really bad. Entropy Center's got a 92% on Steam. Dying Light 2 Stay Human on Steam has a 78. A 78. Okay, so it sounds like the Steam reviews are close to the reviews from the review outlets on Metacritic, between a 7 and an 8. Okay, like I said, I didn't list it as one of the good games that come out this year. I don't think a game that gets reviewed that low. I didn't call it trash, by the way. I said that I didn't list it because I didn't feel like it fared that well. And then somebody pulled up Metacritic and it didn't look like it fared that well. I was simply saying, when I listed all the good games that came out this year, I was saying why I didn't list Dying Light 2 among them. Because it didn't seem like it was universally praised, the way that Elden Ring and Horizon Forbidden West were praised. I like a little more substance in the discussion. Someone else called it trash. Well, I mean, I don't care if somebody just wants to call it trash. I mean, I feel like I established why I didn't list it. It's not a Dying Light stream. I don't feel like discussing Dying Light. We mentioned it in passing because somebody said that we're not getting a lot of good games this year. And so we mentioned a bunch of games in passing, and I established why I didn't mention Dying Light 2. Not a Dying Light 2 stream, so I'm not going to engage in some in-depth nuanced discussion about the game's substance and quality. That doesn't make any sense. I watched the IGN review until they showed Odin, and then I watched ACG reviews, and he had spoilers. I gave up seeing a full review. ACG put reviews... just watch SkillUp's. I think SkillUp's review is incredibly safe. I literally am looping SkillUp's gameplay right now. You haven't seen anything that's spoilery. I think the only thing I felt that he showed that was a little spoilery is when Atreus goes up to the wolves and the wolves are sleeping. But it's not like we didn't know the wolves were in the game and with you. That was already shown. So there's nothing in SkillUp's video that you wouldn't have been able to know is coming based on the stuff that was already viewable in the public. So... basically, SkillUp said if something was a surprise to him, he left it out. He didn't include it. And so anything that he knew going into it, which would be stuff that he knew coming from 2018 and from the trailers, he left that stuff in. I think the most spoiler thing he did, like I said, is Atreus going up to the sleeping wolves. But again, it's a poignant moment, but it's not a moment that is oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. You could also just play the video and listen to the audio. Well, I mean, that's not much. People want to see what the game looks like. I mean, I was immediately excited about the performance in SkillUp's video. I was like, oh, wow, this game looks like it runs so well. People being a little bit sensitive with the spoilers, which I understand, but we basically knew about Odin. Yeah, but they intentionally didn't show us what he looked like. So showing what he looks like is kind of a dick move. You shouldn't be showing something that we don't know about or we don't know what it looks like. So. Who is this Atreus kid and where is boy? Yeah. Boy. Boy. Read it, boy. 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 I want 8 big, gruesome, stunning, distinct boss battles, and it'll be game of the year for me. SkillUp showed a fight with the bear, and that was the only boss fight he really showed, and he said that There were a couple of repeat bosses, but he said it was forgivable because the boss, there was such a more broad representation of bosses and variety. So he was saying the variety was so much better than 2018. He didn't mind that they repeated a few of the bosses. So I thought that was an encouraging thing to hear. It's like, oh wow, a lot of great boss fights, and he's okay with them repeating some because there's such a broad representation of bosses. Bjorn, yeah, you fight Bjorn from what is it, from The Hobbit? Yo, J-Jab, we've not had any big gifted bombs in a while. We've been getting little, I shouldn't say little. We've not had a 10 gifted bomb in a while. We've been getting 5 bombs. Thanks for dropping a big 5 gifted membership on the chat. Draxor, Brian, Rip runs on plants, Convict, Killshot, Michael, Montenegro, Zephyroth, 2374, Rude Rogers, Sal Roxas, and Vettel alum. Thank you very much, JJ. That's very generous. If anybody feels like paying it forward in that group and gifting more members and starting a little gifted member train, that'd be amazing. Since we're sort of down to the core loyal audience right now in the day, I thought turnout today was going to be a little bit bigger for Ragnarok reviews. We might be just really competing in the funnel against giant YouTubers, which is probably the cause. We'll probably see some great results on this video once we're not live. So thank you very much. By the way, anybody who just got a gifted membership, that starting next month will be a trial membership. You will not be able to watch all of the members-only content. You will need to upgrade. You can upgrade right now if you want for $1, and you'll have a full membership. I always encourage gifted members to consider upgrading. Starting next month, you won't be able to watch all the members-only content. It'll be limited. It'll be like a trial. All of our current paying members need to do that before next month. Make sure and upgrade your membership before December. Also, all paying members and all gifted members, do not forget this Saturday, the 5th of November. Remember, the 5th of November. This Saturday night, we will be doing the Star Wars watch party. So make sure your membership is up to date, and we'll get together on Saturday night and we'll walk you through how to set it up. You need to be able to watch Star Wars Episode 1 either through Disney Plus on a DVD or some other means. You will not be able to watch it through me. That's illegal, but we will be able to watch along with you and commentate. If you watch through Disney Plus, there will be a Chrome extension you can install, and that will allow me to control your player. So anytime I pause it, it pauses for you. If you watch any other way, you are going to have to pause on your own, and I'll tell you when to do that when we're watching. You're holding out for a gifted? We would really like to see more people just jump in and commit, because we do 2 live streams a day for totally free. And if you enjoy the show and you enjoy how I almost never run advertisements, I don't run advertisements, I don't hit ads, then membership's how we do it. Reddit breakdown of the Digital Foundry testing. Resolution. Here's some Digital Foundry bullet points. Resolution of pre-baked lighting increased significantly. It helps minimize lighting leaking. Inclusion of SSDO, a feature first included on the PC version of God of War. It's used to approximate a single bounce of indirect illumination in screen space, complete with color transfer. It helps better ground character objects. Detail levels in general have received a significant boost. Inclusion of tessellation of PS5, increased level of detail within the ground surface. It produces far more details and realistic results. Thank you, JJab, for upgrading to a VIP. I appreciate that. Snow deformation with tessellation quality increased. I feel like they're just making up words. Including a tessellation for PS5 increased level of detail with ground surfaces. They're just making stuff up. Light scatters through ice. Superior cube map reflection. Improved implementation of screen space reflections. Level of detail remains consistently high throughout the game. There are a few points of the game where you'll intersect with God of War and allows for comparisons. It shows a nice improvement in lighting, surface, and the snow is clearly more nuanced. Features are more details in general. Features largely familiar from tech standpoint. Improvements clearly evident, but God of War still holds up surprisingly well. Somewhat mixed feelings between the original and Ragnarok. Doesn't necessarily feel like a gigantic leap forward from a pure tech standpoint. I didn't expect a giant leap. I expected a leap. Sounds like we got one. Performance mode is 85 to 90 FPS in action, 120 FPS while exploring. Fidelity mode is 40 to 50 range, barely any difference in visual quality between performance and fidelity. PS5 has better tessellation, better AO, shadows, level of detail, better GI. PS5 used machine learning to upscale DRS in performance mode, which is why it looks better. Thank you so much, Trebellion, for renewing the membership and for doing a full membership. That's a whole year from Trebellion. Haven't been around much this week. I know you love the campaign, but I had issues with skill-based matchmaking and multiplayer. Would you still buy Keep of the Top work? I mean, I would still buy it. Yeah, the campaign's really fun. Spec Ops is fun, even though it's buggy, a little buggy too. Not once you're in the missions, it's not, but... Guys, could we get 50 more likes on the video? If we have more likes than viewers, that would be amazing. 400 likes would be stellar. Let's try to do it. Let's try to get more likes than viewers. That's Eurogamer's Digital Foundry article. I can't speak to spoilers. Okay, yeah, I've read enough. I mean, and I've seen enough. I'm good on the graphical performance. I don't think this game needs to be defended. I don't know. I think validating a lot of the criticisms is just not needed. You know? I don't think it's needed. Maybe just don't say 120 FPS then. Well, it's a 120 hertz mode, right? It's a 120 hertz mode, so yeah. Wait, don't you usually get another color joystick after 12? Okay, so Trebellion, it's kind of weird. You just hit 12 months, but it doesn't change until next month. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Doesn't change until next month. Do we have anything? No. We already knew the game was going to be a banger. The reviews just confirm it. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Well, I'm not going to force this. We've kind of run out of things to say. We've watched that video plenty of times, and we're just sort of tempting fate by continuing to hang out and discuss. Can you guys do me a favor? We have a smaller channel where we put updates, and my review summary is already live over there, okay? Thanks for 20 months, Vendetta. That's a long time. Great content as always. Can you guys help me out? Like, we typically don't send you to the updates channel, but this could be, you know, really good for all of the channels to have videos really get some momentum. So I'm going to put a link in chat if you guys want to go watch it. It's a 10-minute video. It's the show open of this show that you've been sitting here and supporting. So we appreciate you guys supporting the channel so much. Thursdays is therapy day for me. My wife and I still go to therapy. I've been going for over 4 years. We really encourage people to not feel stigmatized about mental health. So I myself have been going for 4 years, and my wife's been going with me for about 2 years. Listen, on this video, please do me a favor and don't end this stream without pressing the like button. We only need 39 more likes, and this thing could roll over to 400. And then I need you to press the link in chat. Give our review summary video some love. Go watch it. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Please don't just go click on the video and don't watch it. That won't help it. Actually watch it. Leave a comment. Hit like. You can even put the playback speed up a bit, and that still counts. So we appreciate you guys so much. Please click that link in chat And I'm ending a little bit earlier on Thursday, so that way I have time to plan the day with Creature. And we had a solid day talking Microsoft and a solid day breaking down these reviews. So give that vid some love. Give that vid some love in the chat. Click that on the way out. Hit subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Fridays are always a blast. My wife and I stream on Friday nights for members, so consider becoming a member. Members, make sure and upgrade to full or VIP. I can't stress it enough. We really need people to get off of base membership. Starting in December, we are going to have a dividing line between gifted members and paying members, and that's why we need you to do that. It's a $1 upgrade. We think it's reasonable, and it'll help us maybe convert more of the people that get gifted members. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Click that link in chat. I'm spamming it. Click it. Go watch it. Leave a like. Leave a comment, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.